How's it going, everybody? So today is the 8th of October 21 and I have successfully gotten myself the new iPhone 13 mini, and this is the blue one right here. So in this video I'm going to be sharing my unboxing and first impressions, as well as a little bit of backstory how I got into the Apple ecosystem. It started early this year when I started this YouTube channel and I needed a laptop that can handle a lot of video editing. And at the time I was shopping around for both PC and the Macbook. In terms of PC, you got to know what specs you need, and if you spec it out to be able to do what you want it to do, which is to edit a lot of videos, the price is about the same, and if not more, than the MacBook Pro. So I got the MacBook Pro because it's the best value laptop there is at the time for what I want it to do, which is kind of weird because Apple products are not really known to be value for money. But the M1 MacBooks are really value for money. I'm very happy with it. I think it's a very powerful device. At the time I was using an Android phone. This was a Huawei P30. It was a flagship phone that I bought for 1,700 ringgit online during a sale. But what happened is I dropped the phone a lot of times. The lens cover here was broken and I got that fixed at a store, like a really cheap store, 50 ringgit to replace this glass. But they didn't do a good job. So what happened was there was a lot of dust particles that was trapped in between the glass and the lens. So when I take pictures, the pictures turn out kind of shitty. And then the final nail in the coffin is when I dropped the phone face down, the screen cracked together with the LCD screen. So I was like, oh man, if I want to fix this whole thing, I think it's going to cost me a lot of money. So I asked some of my family members, do you guys have a spare phone? And one of my family members said, yeah, have this really old iPhone SE, pink in color. This is the 2015, I believe, so it's about 5 years, maybe 6 year iPhone. And it's so pink that I bought a case here to cover up the pinkness. So I've been using this phone ever since as a temporary phone, and I gotta be honest, for a 5-year-old phone, this thing can pretty much handle everything I throw at it. The only downside is that the picture quality is not as nice as modern day smartphones. But apart from that, it's really good. I changed the battery for like 50 ringgit. It's slightly better than it was before, but it's still pretty bad. Like I have to charge maybe twice a day. Then when I was using this iPhone SE temporarily, I discovered that it was communicating very well with my MacBook. And the 3 features that I really like was number 1, AirDrop. So for example, I write a lot of blog posts, and when I do a blog post I need to take pictures to be put into the blog or the featured image. So usually I just use my phone to take that picture. So when I had an Android, I had to sync it up to Google Photos and then log into Google Photos on my MacBook and then download it. But with AirDrop, I can just send it right away to my MacBook, which I think is a really convenient thing for me to have. And the other thing that I find was underrated was I like how you can copy paste between Apple devices. So for example, if you copy something on your MacBook, and then you can go to your phone and click paste. It pastes that thing that you just copied from another device, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So the most practical copy paste use for me is if I just downloaded a new app or something and then I need to log in, but I don't remember my password, right? Because my password is in my computer. So what I do is I go to my computer, find that password, copy it, and then I just hit paste over here, which is incredibly convenient. The third thing is sometimes when I do work at home, I put my phone usually away, not distract myself while I work. Because if your phone's always with you, then you always like want to check Instagram or something, which I try to minimize. So I put my phone inside the drawer. So what happens is when I order stuff from Shopee or Lazada and then the delivery guy arrives downstairs, what is he going to do? He's going to call me, right? So if my phone is somewhere else or inside the drawer, I might not hear it. But because the iPhone is synced together with my MacBook, when the guy calls or anybody calls, I don't need to find my phone. I can answer that same phone call from my MacBook while I'm doing work. And I think that's super convenient. And lastly, just look how small this thing is. It's amazing. In today's day and age, all the cell phones are getting bigger and bigger. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't fit in my pocket. I don't want to carry around like a 4K cinema inside my pocket. It makes no sense for me. So I wanted to look for a small smartphone. So I went online and Googled best small smartphones 2021. And there's not a lot of options. And everything in the list was pretty big. They were about the same size as my Huawei P30, which I think is too big to be carrying around with me in my pocket all the time. So the only 2 contenders that I was considering was the Google Pixel 5 and the Samsung S21, which both is not really that small. It's about the same size as the P30. And also they both cost 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit, which is right in the ballpark of an iPhone. Might as well get an iPhone. And And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my logic of why I got the iPhone 13 mini. All right, let's continue with the unboxing. All right, here's the box, really tiny. There's no charger in here. Feels really good in the hands. And inside you have one charging cable, and that's it. I think these are the stickers in here, and SIM injection tool. Okay, that's pretty much it. If you're coming from an iPhone 12, it feels exactly the same. The only difference is the location of these cameras, and I think this module is a little bit bigger. Personally, if I had the iPhone 12 and I look at this, I wouldn't upgrade because it's just too similar. Feels good. It's a little bit chunky compared to the iPhone SE. It's slightly bigger, slightly. But it still feels really good in the hands. I'm just going to leave this in the background while this thing is running. Alright, looks like everything is all set up. Face ID. Cool. So this is the first time I'm using an iPhone without one of those Touch ID, so it's a little weird. All the apps are downloading. Great. I'm just going to share with you something. I bought this case as well from Bellroy. Woof. This is the racing green if I'm not mistaken. Let's put this on. Feels good in the hands. There's some felt material there. Leather at the back. Got the Bellroy branding over there. Let's pop this in. Feels good in the hands. Nice. Alright, there you go. I got the iPhone all set up. I am loving this phone so far. I'm loving the case as well. Doesn't have a tempered glass, so I need to get a tempered glass. But at the machine store, they were selling the iPhone 12 mini tempered glass for 69 ringgit, which I think is ridiculous. So here's a little hack. I got the iPhone 12 mini screen protector instead on Shopee, and this goes for about 10 ringgit, so that's like 1/7 the price. So the only difference is that the iPhone 12 mini has a speaker grill right there, whereas the iPhone 13, they moved the speaker grill from in the middle all the way up. I'm gonna try the iPhone 12 mini's screen protector on the iPhone 13 mini. I think it fits, but I hope nothing on the top part there, the sensor, the speaker, or whatever, clashes with this screen protector. So let me try and I'll let you know. Alright, there you go. I just installed the iPhone 12 mini tempered glass onto the new iPhone 13. There's a little bit of a hole there for the speaker grill, which doesn't exist for the 13 because they moved it up. So there's a hole there for no reason. Seems to fit this casing as well. And let's see if Face ID works. Yeah, works perfectly fine. So there you go. If you want to save a little bit of money, if you have the iPhone 13, you can buy the iPhone 12 protective glass for a lot cheaper. It's a really good phone. I like this really much. It's the most expensive phone I've ever had in my life. But considering how the old iPhone lasted 5-6 years, I'm looking to get a lot of mileage on this phone. So I think it's going to bring me a really good value for money over the long haul if I don't drop it or damage it anyway. Alright, so there you go. That's my first impression of the iPhone 13 mini. See ya.